Welcome to today's practice. So this practice is this is going to be my practice that that you can do with me. I'll talk you through it. So it's going to be a little bit of stretching, there's going to be a little bit of strengthening. We'll try and open up in all different planes and through all different joints. So to just do what's comfortable for you, as always. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Make this your practice and do just what suits you. Okay, so come through into a comfortable seated position. Legs, however, is comfortable for you. Lengthen up through the spine. Let the crown of the head gently reach, and we're going to close the eyes. And take a few moments to start to connect to your breath. And as you start to draw your awareness inwards, you might start to notice how you're feeling. And just honouring that. Sometimes we can be feeling great and sometimes not so much so. And when we're not feeling great, there can be a sense that that's wrong and that we need to change that. I think we have to accept that life isn't always going to be on the up. There are going to be some downs too. But just honour how you feel and try and sit with that rather than try to change it. And just knowing that everything transmutes eventually. Eventually you will start to feel better if you do feel down. And if you're on a great up, I don't want to pull you down, but there will come a time when you're feeling not so good. The peaks and the troughs of life. So we're going to work with some Kapalabhati breathing. If you have high blood pressure or any heart conditions, this practice won't be suitable for you anyway. You're better off kind of going to find a different practice. But you certainly wouldn't want to be doing this breath. So if you have any conditions that are going to be exacerbated by increasing the pressure in your body, then Kapalabhati is not the breath for you. So just stay with your natural breath. Otherwise, Kapalabhati is a forced exhale. It's like a pumping of the belly. So we're going to work through a few of these, and you can rest your hand on your belly if you wish. Keep your shoulders soft. We're going to do 30 Kapalabhati. We're going to do 3 lots of 30. So inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, when you're 30, let your breath return to normal. If you find that's making you lightheaded, slowing the breath down a little might be helpful, but you just have the option to just let it go if necessary. I'm going to come again, breath in and out through the nose, inhaling. Your natural breath. Just check in on your abdominal muscles. It's good practice for the abdomen, for the muscles there. An energizing, uplifting breath. So we're going to take one more round, and this time we'll go for 50. So inhaling. Again, just take a moment to notice how you feel. then as you exhale, take your chin down towards your chest. Float open the eyes and raise the gaze. Okay, and then come through onto your tummy. So we'll start through here with a gentle cobra. So just to stretch out those tummy muscles, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, roll the shoulders away from the ears, and as you inhale, just gently starting to lift up. Now just come up to your own degree, you don't have to come up very high, we're only warming up. As you exhale, come back down. Inhale to come up. Exhale back down, a couple more. So take one more, reach up through the crown of the head, draw the heart space up, and then as you exhale, come back down, find your way into your child's pose, hips back towards the heels. Make this really active, tailbone lengthens back, hands creep out in front of you, connecting to the breath, finding length. And then as you inhale, come up onto all fours. And from there, taking your hands out in front of you, bringing the forehead down onto your mat, Anahatasana, your puppy pose. If you wanted to take the chin onto the mat, if that felt okay for your neck, you could do that, but not all of us will have the flexibility to do that. So just stay on your forehead, or even pop a cushion underneath your forehead if you need to. Connecting through to the breath, gently drawing your lower abdomen. And then on your inhale, walk your hands back in towards you and find your way into your downwards facing dog. So just finding some movement here, padding out the feet. You might just lengthen the one leg at a time. Maybe you're comfortable to lengthen both. Always keep the knees bent if that feels better for you. Especially if you find you're rounding the spine. Definitely better to keep the back flat and bend the knees. Okay, as you inhale, start to walk your hands in towards your feet. So coming through into a forward fold. Again, bend the knees if the hamstrings are tight. And then just have a few breaths here. Crown of the head lengthens down. And then from there, we're going to walk our hands over to our right. And just see if you can stretch your left fingers out to the right. So just finding some length through the left side body. Walk it back through to centre. We'll take it over to the left. And then your right arm stretches out. Feel that through my right side ribs. Shoulder. Bring it back through to centre and walk it back through into a plank pose. Press the ground away from you. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. You can always drop the knees down onto the mat to lighten this anytime you need to. And then engage through your core. So you've not got an arch of the lumbar spine. Tailbone tucks. And then roll forwards on your toes, let the elbows bend behind you, lower yourself all the way down onto your mat. Clasping the hands behind you as you inhale, lifting up for Shalabhasana. Reaching up through the crown of the head, drawing the heart space forwards. And then exhale, bring it back down, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, Press back up to plank. And from there, downwards facing dog. Inhale, float the right leg up behind you, bend the right knee, stack your right hip on top of your left. And then square off the hips, bring your right knee through, try and touch your nose. Inhale to extend the right leg out behind you, and then exhale, bring your right knee over towards your left elbow. Inhale the leg back out behind you, and then exhale, right knee over to right elbow. And then we're going to hold it there and place the right foot down by the right hand. So draw down through the hips, roll the shoulders away from the ears. A breath or two there, opening. And then extend your right arm up towards the ceiling. Take the right arm behind you, reach out. And then bring the right hand back down. You can step back into straight into downwards facing dog, or you can step it back through into plank. And if you're comfortable to move through a vinyasa, then you can do. Inhale, left leg floats up behind you, bend your left knee, stack your left hip on top of your right. Square off the hips, knee to nose. Inhale the left leg back out behind you and then over towards the right elbow. Inhale to extend it back and then over to the left elbow where we'll hold it just for a breath before we step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. And then from there, just a breath or so. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears and then extend that left arm out behind you. Bring the hand back down. Again, your choice, straight to downwards facing dog, or you can move through chaturanga and up dog, then over into your downwards facing. Inhale, sweep your right leg up behind you. And as you exhale, bring the knee through, try and touch the nose, and then step your right foot through between your hands. So come up into a high lunge. And reach the arms up alongside the ears. Couple of breaths. And then bring the hands down through to just alongside you. And as you inhale, step your left leg forwards. And you can either hold on to your left shin with your left hand, or you can hold on to the big toe and extend the left leg out in front of you. Just coming into a balance, shoulders soft, face soft. I'm going to let go of the foot, bring the hands through to the heart centre, keep that left leg up in front of you. Bend the knee, take it back, Virabhadrasana 3. So left leg extends out behind you. If you're wobbly, you can always extend your arms out to the sides. We're gently going to step it back, high lunge. Ooh. Hands will come down to the heart. Release them down to frame the right foot. Your choice, vinyasa. You might make it a one-legged one. Straight through to downwards facing dog. So inhale, float the left leg up behind you. Exhale, round the spine. Bring the knee through, try and touch your nose. And then step the left foot through between the hands. So coming up for your high lunge. And see if you can take your arms back. So you're really opening through the front of the body here. As you exhale, release the hands down. We're going to take the weight into the left foot, step that right leg forward. So you can hold on to the bent right leg with the right hand, or you can extend your right leg out. Releasing the right foot, a couple of breaths there. Keep the chest open. And then bend your right knee, hands through to the heart, Virabhadrasana 3. And then gently step it back into your high lunge. Releasing the hands down to frame the left foot. Again, you might take a one-legged plank, move through a one-legged vinyasa, or you might move straight to your downwards facing dog. Inhaling through to plank. Right hand to the centre of your mat, left arm reaches up alongside your ear, side plank. Press up through the hips, draw your left arm forwards over your ear. Left arm reaches back up, come back through to plank, we'll do the other side. Left hand to the centre of the mat, right arm reaches up, and then draw the right arm forwards over your ear. Take your right arm back up, again your choice, vinyasa or downwards facing dog. Gently drawing in the lower abdomen. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Just take a moment again, open the right hip. And then square off the hips, knee through to the nose, hold it there a moment. Step your right foot through between your hands, ground your left foot, Virabhadrasana 2. And we can find some movement here. Inhale to straighten the right leg arms up. Exhale, Vira 2. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Couple more. Coming into your Virabhadrasana 2, strong through the legs, grounded through the feet. And we'll come through to Parsvakonasana. So we're going to bring the right hand to the floor on the inside of the right leg and draw the left arm forwards over your ear. If you want rather keep the right forearm to the thigh, then you can work there, or you can take your right hand to a block or a brick. I'm going to take this into a bind, so the left hand will come behind the back, thread the right arm through underneath the right thigh, take a hold of the left wrist with the right hand, spin open through the left shoulder, and then we're going to release the hands down to frame the right foot. So you've got your right arm underneath your right thigh. Come onto the ball of the back foot and bring your left knee down onto your mat. So coming through into a lunge here, you could just choose to stay here, or you could keep your left knee lifted and see if you could start to lift that right foot up in front of you. So my right thigh is resting on my upper right arm. I've got no room. Kapalabhati Breathing if you wish, as I destroy my Shiva statue, and then step it back downwards facing dog. Hopefully have a little bit more room on the other side to do that. Hopefully you've got more space. Inhale, left leg floats up, bend your left knee. Square off the hips, bring the knee through, try and touch the nose. Step your left foot through between your hands, ground your right foot, Virabhadrasana 2. So adjusting your feet as you need to. And then we'll add in that movement. Inhale to straighten, exhale to come back. Inhale to straighten, exhale back. 3 more. Back into your Virabhadrasana 2. Softening through the shoulders. And then moving through into Parsvakonasana. So again, you could take the left forearm to the thigh, or you could take your hand to the floor, to the inside of your left leg. Your right arm reaches out over your ear, spinning open through the right shoulder. And then finding your way into your bind. So right arm behind you, left arm underneath the thigh, holds onto the right wrist. Still spinning open through the right shoulder. And then we're going to release the hands down. So that left arm's going to stay on the outside of the left foot. And we're going to come through into a lunge. And you can just drop your knee down, on your right knee down onto the mat if you wish. And maybe just a few breaths there. If you want to, Kapalabhati Breathing, we'll keep the right knee lifted. A little bit more room on this side. Left leg rests on the upper left arm. Right leg lifts up behind you. So you can just come out the way you went in, or you can hop it back and move through a vinyasa. So enjoy a stretch in Virabhadrasana, downwards facing dog. And then from there, we're going to bring our knees down onto our mat. Come down onto your forearms and clasp your hands. Make sure the elbows are no more than shoulder width apart. And then kind of activate. So press the ground away from you, roll the shoulders away from the ears, and then we can lift up the knees and come into dolphin. Draw in the lower abdomen nice and gently, small toning of the pelvic floor, and you can choose to stay here, or we can add in some movement. So exhale forwards, inhale up. So you're moving from your core. Exhale forwards, inhale up. Few more. Just keeping it going. Rest as you need to. You can always find your way into child's pose. We'll do one more. And then come back up onto your hands. You come back into your downwards facing dog. And then from there, as you exhale, knees come back down onto your mat. Let's find our way back into child's pose. Hips back on the heels. But for this one, we're going to clasp the hands behind, not clasp the hands, sorry, take the hands into prayer behind the head. And just see if you can walk your elbows forwards and in towards each other. So your elbows stay at shoulder width apart. Take 2 more breaths. And then we'll release the hands down. Come back up onto your hands and step back through into your plank pose. So from here, nice and slowly, we're going to lower all the way down onto the mat. Drop your knees down first if that works better for you. Make sure you've got that rolling forwards movement, and then nice and slowly, you lower yourself back down. Untucking the toes, coming onto the forearms. Reach up through the crown of the head, draw your heart space forwards. So Sphinx pose, just stretching out the tummy muscles. And then from there, we're going to work a little bit with the core. So you start to draw the navel in towards the spine. Tuck the toes underneath, lift the pelvis away from the mat. And if you can, lifting the knees up too. Keeping the tailbone tucked. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then we'll bring the knees down, the pelvis down, draw the heart space forwards. Come all the way down to your mat, press into your hands, tuck your toes, press up to plank, downwards facing dog. Soften your knees. We're going to come through to seated. So bending the knees, looking forwards, step, jump or float your feet through to seated. And then bring your legs out in front of you. So coming through into Navasana. Rolling the shoulders down, reaching up through the crown of the head. Connect through to your breath. Reach your arms out in front of you. And maybe you can straighten the right leg. A couple of breaths there. And swap it over. Try not to let the knees go out too wide, keep them in towards each other. Keep that length in the spine, maybe you can straighten the left leg. Maybe you can straighten both legs. And then as you exhale, lower yourself back down into half boat. Inhale, we'll come up. Exhale, take it back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Couple more. Take one more. And then exhale, take it back and come all the way down onto your mat. So once you're down, bend your knees, bring your feet underneath your hips, and as you inhale, coming through into your bridge pose, clasping the hands underneath you if that feels appropriate. If it feels okay, you can take your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bring the right foot down, inhale, lift up the left leg. Engaging through the back of the right glute, the hamstring. Keep the right foot fully grounded. Left foot comes down. One more breath here. Can you find a little bit more lift? And then as you exhale, release the hands. Slowly the spine comes back down onto your mat. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees drop open. Connect through to the breath. And then bring your knees back in towards each other. Bring them in towards your chest. Little rock from side to side. And then bringing the nose up in towards the knees. Bring the knees in towards the nose. So you've now got a little gap between your lower back and the floor. Reach your arms out in front. If you need to support the head, then you can do that instead. Two more breaths, keep it squeezing in. And then exhale, release it back down. We're going to take this into a twist. We're going to drop our knees over to the right hand side. Extend your left arm out. So right hand onto the top of the left knee. Perhaps a little bit of added traction there. Stay present with your breath, present with your body. And then inhale, come back through to centre. Exhale over to your left, right arm extends. And then inhale, bring it back through to centre. So from there, we'll cross our ankles, roll ourselves up through to seated, and extend your legs out in front of you. So lengthening through the spine, and then as you exhale, folding forwards, Paschimottanasana. You can hold onto your shins. If you've got a belt, you can hook it around your feet. You can hold onto your big toes. Keeping the back flat as much as you can. Keeping space in the chest. Finding that length through the back of the leg. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then inhale, bringing yourself back through to upright. So we're just going to finish with an inversion here. So we're going to come back into, similar to that dolphin pose, forearms are going to come down onto your mat, but this time the hands aren't going to clasp, we're going to keep the hands shoulder width apart. Activate the shoulders, press the ground away from you. Now you can just tuck your toes, lift your knees and come up into dolphin and work there. You can float one leg up towards the ceiling, have a couple of breaths, swap it over, just to start to build strength. If you are comfortable in Pincha Mayurasana, whether it's at a wall, if you've got a wall at home, or if you have space to work in at home, then you could do that, but only if it's a pose that you're really comfortable in. It's not the right time to start doing it, is not at home on your own. It's good to do it in a class with someone to spot you and make sure you're doing it correctly. So I would only say do this pose now if it's a pose that you know and you're comfortable with. So just coming through into whatever version of this suits you. Hold it for as long as comfortable, and then if you want to take it down into your child's pose for a rest, then you can do that. Having a couple of breaths. And then gently bringing it down, and child's pose if you're not already. Take one more breath. And then inhaling, coming up through to seated. So we're going to stay either kneeling here, or if you're comfortable to, and you can sit down between your feet, then you could come there. Just make sure your your knees are comfortable. Right arm is going to reach up alongside your ear. Drop the hand down between your shoulder blades. And the left hand will come behind you. If you can, hold on to opposite fingers, but if not, you could just hold on to your t-shirt wherever you can comfortably reach. Couple of breaths. And then we'll swap it over. Left arm up, bend the elbow, right hand behind you. Exhale, release out the arms. A little bit of movement. Release out your legs and then lying yourself back down on your mat for your Shavasana, for your relaxation. Couple of deeper breaths. Sigh out any tension. Sigh out all the work that you've been doing. And let your body rest down into the support of the earth. Perhaps slowing down your breath a little. Let your arms and your legs rest heavily. Just releasing, letting go for this short space of time. And allowing yourself to rest. Staying here for as long as you need to. It was a Freudian slip, I need to. See you next time. Namaste.